All right, so adding some finishing touches, part 2, to really finish up the cell phone holder and make it look pretty much exactly like your project is going to look when it's all done. This lesson is going to show you how to add a couple more pieces of hardware that our project has. The first one being this component right here, which is called a T-nut, T-E-E-N-U-T. And what the T-nut does is it has teeth that are kind of like a spike or like a nail. 1, 2, 3, 4 teeth that hammer into the wood. And then on the inside of that hole is a threaded section that allows for the knob, which is the other component we're going to add, the star knob to thread into the T-nut. And that's what allows us to loosen and tighten the cell phone holder to move it and adjust it. So we're going to add those two components today. And I'm going to show you how to do that on our other drawing. So similar to how we added the cell phone, what we're going to do is go over to our right side toolbar where it says components. It's the third icon down from the top. Components, I'm going to click that. And then we're going to search our 3D warehouse. So I am going to type TEE nut. And when I hit enter, we have the first result is the one we're going to want to choose. So I'm going to left click that. And I'm going to move it somewhat close so that we can edit it easily. So I'm going to click it right there. And you're going to notice that it's going to give you two of them. One is facing in this direction. The other is facing in this direction. So I want to delete this one, but before I can delete it, I have to explode it. So hang on, let me change my viewpoint here. Get that centered. All right, so we're going to use the arrow tool to select. I'm going to left click. And now once it highlights everything in blue, I'm going to right click and click explode. So now it separates the two into two individual objects. So I'm going to left click only this one and I'm going to hit delete on my keyboard. So now I'm left with just this one here. So what I want to do is now move that closer to the hole that we drilled in the small piece. So I'm going to use my move tool. And I can click anywhere for now. I just, for right now, want to move this kind of closer to our object. And then I'm going to zoom out, use our orbit tool, and kind of get things closer in perspective. You might have to move it several times to get it closer. Whoops, that's the rotate tool. So I'm going to come up here, click again. Now I'm going to pan even closer. Go to our move tool again. Might help if we rotate to the side. And this takes some kind of finagling back and forth and getting it close. And now you can see it's getting onto the face like that. So when it says on face like that, now it's in a position that I like because it's not flush. You can see it's still sticking out a little bit, but you can tell that the teeth are digging into the wood of the component. So then what I'm also going to do is get my move tool, and I just want to reposition it, whoops, a little bit better with the center of the circle. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is all just for kind of for show here. You can also resize the object by using your, let me highlight my mouse, using your select arrow, left click it, and then if you go down to the move tool, if you use this bottom option that says scale, what that'll let us do is grab a corner, make sure it turns red and you have a dotted diagonal line like that. Left click, and then you can move your cursor in to make it a little smaller. And then go back to your move tool and try to reposition it until it looks better. And we don't want it there. Okay, that I like. And again, you might have to play around with this a little bit until you get it just the way you want it, but that looks really good. That's just about how it's going to look in real life, just like that. So now we're finished adding the T-nut. So what we're going to do now is draw or add in the star knob. So what we're going to do is rotate around to the back like that. Okay. And we're going to go back to our components. So what we're actually going to search here is star knob with bolt. And the first result that should come up is this one, star knob with bolt by John F. So we're going to left click that. And I'm going to put the knob somewhere right in front of it, somewhere right around here. Okay. Now, the only problem with this right now is that it's pointing in the wrong direction. So we need to rotate it. The way we're going to do that is by using our move tool. And then we're going to go to the center icon that says rotate. I'm going to left click that. Now, what I want to do is move my cursor until I'm at the front left corner of the box closest to me. I'm going to left click that once. So I just left clicked it. Now I'm going to move my cursor up. And again, I want to go to the front top left corner right here. I'm going to left click again. Now when I move my cursor, that's going the wrong way. So hang on. We're going to undo that. Okay. Let's try this again. We're going to get our rotate tool. And we're going to go from this corner to this corner. Now we're going to tip up until it snaps onto the blue axis like that. And then we're going to left click it again. So now the object is pointing in the right direction. So we're going to pan our camera to get in a better spot to move it. Something like that. We're going to get our move tool and we're going to try and get this a little closer, something like that. And now let's take a look how we're doing. Oh, we're a little crooked still going that way. So let's try and rotate that again. There we go. Once again, this is something you might have to play around with a little bit. But we're going to come up. Like that. And we might have to rotate again a little bit. Here, here. Nope. Okay, so that looks better. And now we're just going to move that centered left and right. And then we're going to move it up a little bit to line up with the hole. There we go, just like that. So a little easier said than done. The first time I did this, I had a little bit more success than what I just did. But again, as long as you get it somewhat close, that'll be okay. I'm just going to tilt that a little bit. That looks good. Okay, so there we have it. We have our star knob on one side, threading into the T-nut on the other side. So for some extra credit, or credit for the assignment, take a screenshot of the knob on one side. Make sure I can see that it's lined up to the hole here. And another screenshot of the T-nut on the other side. And you could send it something like this from this angle.